Hey, I'm Ryan Mullally, and this is Natural Law. I was not at all planning on making any content today. This is kind of an ad hoc thing, but there's been some absolutely crazy comments made by Senator Tim Kaine regarding natural law, natural rights, and just betraying an unfamiliarity with the Declaration of Independence and our founding moral claim as America as a nation. And I think this has to be addressed, especially because I'm already addressing it on X all morning. So putting out a video might actually just streamline this whole process. So let's just take a look at the clip that's been circulating so that we know what we're talking about. So he said a lot there. You notice he said that the idea that natural rights do not come from our law, do not come from our government is extremely troubling. It's extremely troubling to Senator Kaine that that's where our rights came from. Now, I want to direct you to another document, which you might be familiar with, the United States Declaration of Independence. And here, if you read it, you don't even need to read the whole thing. The first two paragraphs is more than enough. But if you're unfamiliar with this document, and you should be familiar with this document, what this was America saying to England, here are our grievances, we are going to be a free nation, and explaining what our moral claim to be a nation was. What is it that made it just for us to rebel and to seek independence? Now, what do we invoke? We said, Thomas Jefferson, writing on behalf of the country, said, when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of earth and separate equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them. So right off the bat, the laws of nature. What are the laws of nature? That's natural law. Natural law, nature's God, Thomas Jefferson, like me, was a deist, so he's not going to write the Christian God. He's going to write God in a more general sense, something that Christians and deists could agree on. But he's going to say, the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them to something. That's the moral claim. These are the rights that were being infringed. Natural law is the basis for our rebellion and for our independence. And then having established that, he goes into the next paragraph. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, among them, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So, again, natural rights are bestowed upon us by our creator. They are inherent to who we are. They are unalienable. Why does that matter? If your rights are given to you by the government, then the government can take them away. And that's not unjust. Because if the government can create the right, surely the government can destroy the right. The right is just a creation of the government. But here, where there's a more fundamental claim, our rights are natural. They are bestowed upon us by our creator. They are of a higher moral claim than the government itself. So the government cannot justly infringe upon them. He continues, to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. To secure the rights, the governments are created, not the other way around. The government doesn't give you the rights. The government is created to protect these rights, deriving their powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute a new government. What does that mean when they say destructive of these ends? It means that when a government is destructive of natural rights, that is a just basis for rebellion. It's a just basis to destroy the government and put in its place a better government that will honor, that will institute these natural rights. So the fundamental American moral claim is based on the protection of natural rights which pre-exist the government, that the government cannot infringe and must not infringe. Now, this is something that echoes throughout our entire framework. If you look at the First Amendment of the Constitution, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech. The First Amendment doesn't create the freedom of speech. It prevents abridging the freedom of speech. The freedom of speech already existed. It's a natural right. It's a right that pre-exists the government and which the government may not infringe. This is very, very different than saying that the government gives you the freedom of speech. And this is what happened in places like the USSR. In the USSR, the belief was that the state creates rights. And because the state created rights, the state was justified in removing those rights if it wanted to. A good parallel is to look at how other countries have framed their declarations of independence. When they say, what is their moral claim? What did Ireland say in 1919 when they declared independence? They said, whereas the Irish people is by right a free people. What's their claim? Why does Ireland get to be its own country? Their claim is Ireland gets to be its own country because they are a separate ethnicity, and that ethnicity should not be governed by the British. They want to be free. They wanted to separate. They no longer wanted to deal with England's rule, which has always been, which, as they said, was based on force, fraud, and maintained by military occupation against the free will of the people. Their claim is based off the Irish being a separate people. The American claim was based off of the protection of natural rights. This is who we are. We formed a nation to protect natural rights, among them being life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that our government was formed to secure these rights, which pre-existed the nation, our state. They are inherent to us. Now, a lot of atheists today have been telling me that they have a hard time squaring this circle. I don't know. I'm not here to tell you how to square it for yourself. Maybe you believe in Platonic forms. So natural rights pre-exist because there's some kind of abstract object like a Platonic form that informs moral behaviors, moral choices, your moral compass. Maybe you just take it as a given because we put it in the Declaration of Independence and you say, I'm not that into philosophy, I don't need to worry about it, but I am going to say that I believe in the American proposition. But what you don't get to say is I reject the American proposition because we are a propositional nation. This is who we are. We declared our independence. We made a moral claim for why we get to exist as a state. And our moral claim was that we were going to respect the laws of nature. We were going to respect the natural rights given to us by our Creator, which are unalienable, among them life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's who we are. And if you go against that, if you take that away, there's nothing left. That is the American proposition. It is our moral claim. And this is something that we need to be full-throatedly defending. And it is very distressing to see a US senator reject this, belittle this, to speak against our heritage, and quite frankly, in my opinion, make a bit of a fool of himself because he didn't give the respect to the fundamental American claim. And if we don't respect that, I don't think there's a lot left of this country. Anyway, not planning to do a long video, just wanted to do a quick hit so that I could stop repeating myself on X. I hope this has been useful and that it spurs some conversations about what natural law is, what natural rights are, and how that impacts our country going forward. Stay safe.